Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 1 of the NPL Minors Season 2. Now, this is exciting. I've been waiting for this for so long. We're finally here at week 1. The draft is over. I'm sorry this was a little late. Got caught up in a lot of other stuff, and I'll kind of explain that. Yeah, we'll just get the battle started for now. This is going to be going on in fast mode because a lot of this battle is kind of like not really stally, but it takes a while, and you'll kind of see that. And I don't need to go over every single play, and I'll pause it when I do need to go over plays. So yeah. You know, immediately, I didn't want to overpredict turn 1, so I just went straight for the Draco. I didn't think Flash Cannon could kill from here, so I did not go for that. I switched into Gengar, which ends up hurting me quite a bit because he runs T-Wave, which is excellent prep on his part. Common theme you'll see throughout this battle is that he prepped outstandingly, and yeah, I had other switch-ins I could make, but nothing really enjoyed being paralyzed. I suppose I could have gone into Piloswine if I had thought of T-Wave, but Piloswine isn't exactly like a hard hitter. I felt like it really couldn't do the damage I wanted, but it would have been good to go into it, get rocks up and stuff. But yeah, it's hindsight's 2020. That's what I'm trying to say. The para on Gengar is unfortunate, and it will come into play. But yeah, that's just how it is. He prepped well, and you can probably tell by both of our nicknames, we are both huge Danganronpa fans. Not all my nicknames are Danganronpa, but yeah, still. Anyways, this poison is actually pretty big, I want to say. Yeah, it's pretty big. And you'll kind of see that. So I just go straight for the Flare Blitz, knowing he would go into this, but I didn't expect him to expect me to bring Sucker Punch. And he did, so he Sucker Punches me, predicting me to Sucker Punch, and so I don't get to Sucker Punch, and I die to poison. So if that poison had not happened, I don't know if he would have predicted the Sucker Punch, because it wouldn't have killed anyways, and B, even if he did, it would have forced another 50-50 had I been able to live that. So yeah, that poison was unfortunate. I don't think it mattered too much in the end. He played really well to get rid of my Imbor, which was a huge threat to his team, especially the Venusaur, which you'll see will cause me some pain in the future of this battle here. So I go into Clefable because I know I want to get my screens up. In all the mocks I had, the screens were the most important thing I had. Also, I did not expect him to go for Toxic there, since Clefable is generally Magic Guard, and he didn't really have too much potential setup that I saw on his team. So, I really had no reason to run unaware. I was very surprised he went for Toxic there. I don't think he predicted the switch, because he does go for Toxic on the Clefable later as well. He might have predicted the switch, I don't know. But anyways, that works out for him. My entire team is just getting status, and it's very unfortunate. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna get a rocks here, I want to say. No, I go straight for the Ice Shard. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. There's not really much to say here. I get up my light screen, which is nice. Now here is what I was not expecting. He's actually a Spadef Venusaur, and he just eats up these hits. And I'm kind of misplaying here. I should not have gone for all those Dark Pulses. I think I was just going for a flinch or something. I really don't know. But yeah, I was basically just waiting for him to get the poison on me with Sludge Bomb. My thought process was he couldn't do much damage with the Sludge Bomb, but yeah, it has the same percent chance to poison as Scald does to burn. So I should not have stayed in there and just let my Hydreigon get poisoned like that. Like, I'd say that was the only real actual misplay I did. I've played a little too safe for some of these turns and stuff like that, but yeah, that's the big misplay, I guess. Yeah, and this Venusaur is going to be quite a bit of a pain. Like, the only thing I really have to deal with it is this Scolipede, because Gengar and Hydreigon are not going to be able to touch it, because it's Spadef, and Piloswine only has Ice Shard as an ice stab, so that's probably not going to hurt too much. And then Clefable obviously can't do anything, and Emboar is obviously dead. So yeah, I make the Baton Pass play because I know he doesn't want to stay in on the Scolipede, and so I go out into, my Gengar on the Gligar, because I have Icy Wind and just special attacks are probably gonna hurt this thing. So he goes back into this. Icy Wind does a somewhat good amount, but Shadow Ball will do more, but still not very much. He goes into Charizard here. I go into this thing, and I didn't want to over predict when it comes to the Charizard, because it's a huge threat to my team, and he may not expect me to EV to outspeed when I'm not at +1. Yeah, I don't know. So I just make the safe play, go for the Rock Slide, and I'm kind of revealing here that I do not have the Poison Jab, and once I realized, okay, he has the Gligar, he has the Venusaur, it's going to be very, even the Grand Bull as well, it's going to be very difficult for me to break through these things with the team that I brought and the fact that I don't have Emboar anymore. So I know that I need to get Rocks up. So I Baton Pass to see what he's going to go into first, of course. And so since he's in this, it can't really do much to me, so I can get my Rocks up. And then now I can go back into this, heal up, get my screens up, and do all that stuff. But of course he's going to defog, which is just going to set me right back. And he goes for the Toxic again, which of course isn't going to do anything. So right now I'm just kind of forcing him to defog because I realize this is going to be a very long game, where it's going to come down to PP and how many Roost and Synthesis he has. So yeah. Also, just having the screens up as well is really nice. So over predict a little bit there. Thought he would go into the Grand Bull again. He doesn't do that. So yeah, that time I just go straight for the Draco and get some nice damage off on that. Kind of force him to Roost again. So get a free switch into my Gengar. Knew he was going to go into Venusaur, so I went straight into Scolipede. This was my best series of plays that I've ever made, I think. Knew, for some reason, I wouldn't say knew, I just predicted, I guess, that he would stay in this time against the Scolipede, and I got it right, and get some very nice damage off of this. Things are finally starting to turn around. It was a kind of bad beginning, but we're getting somewhere now. He goes for the HP Fire, doesn't really do too much. You know, this thing is still fine. It's not status. It's one of the few things that's not status. Probably could have predicted that switch, to be honest. I knew he would have wanted to save the Venusaur, but yeah, whatever. Here he goes back out into this, and it just barely survives. He got kind of upset about the Spadef drop, and I'm not really sure why. Because, like, I'm 90% sure that Gengar's still outsped. Like, I believe the Gengar would be at -1, because I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Paralyze is a like -3, and so +2 makes it -1, and I believe at that point I would still outspeed a Spadef Venusaur. Which, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I did not expect a Spadef Venusaur in like a Sun team. You know, you always expect offensive Venusaur with Sun teams, and once again, that's just great prep on his part. And, you know, it's being very difficult to wear this thing down. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering, like, if that Spadef drop actually hurt me, because, like, if he thought he could synthesis up on me or something without the Spadef drop, then, like, maybe I could have actually killed that thing. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what his thought process was there, but yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that he's able to save that thing, and you know, there are a couple things he might be able to synthesis up on in the future, and we may see that. He sacks off his Dugtrio here, which was a very smart play. He goes straight into this, which I need to sack something at this point. Yeah, you know, I'd say this is a very arguable play, because, you know, I really needed rocks on the field to, you know, stop the constant switching in between his bulky things, like the Venusaur and the Gligar, but, you know, last time I got rocks on the field, he very easily was able to defog them away once he switched into Scolipede with Gligar, and he also has Starmie that hasn't been brought out yet and probably has Rapid Spin, so it's just going to be very hard to keep rocks on the field, and you know, this thing was already at half health and toxic. It was just the easiest thing to sack, I think. There wasn't really anything else I wanted to sack, so yeah, I'd still say I made the right play. It can be debatable because of how big rocks are in this matchup, but again, like I said, he probably would have just easily gotten rid of them again, so yeah. I go straight on to this. I think I just go straight for the Rock Slide again. I do. You know, again, can't over predict with that big of a threat. Even if I'm behind, I still just didn't like the idea of doing that. So I'm trying to wear this thing down, make it roost. You know, probably both going to heal up here. Yeah, and this is just kind of a battle where we're just going to be healing up on each other, and he makes the great play and goes into his Flare Blitz Mega Charizard Y. See, I thought this Clefable with Spadef Investment and a light screen would be able to deal with a Charizard Y, but he brings Flare Blitz, which, once again, amazing prep on my opponent's part. So yeah, at this point I kind of know I think the game is over. Against a Flare Blitz Zard, there's really nothing I can do. I can still do my best to try to get back in this game. It is still possible if he, you know, like, plays really badly, I guess, but it's not looking good for me. So I go into this, I actually didn't think I could live Flare Blitz. I don't know, maybe I should have sacked something else and used that as like a way to take a hit and deal a hit back. But yeah, I don't know. The other things I had were very important too. So once again, it's one of those debatable things. It's really hard to find a sack when every mon on your team has its purpose and works in some way. You know, Gengar, even paralyzed, just really does a lot to his team, especially with the Venusaur being weakened. He really doesn't have a switch in to Shadow Ball anymore. So yeah, that's kind of why I didn't sack Gengar even though it was paralyzed. And obviously Scolipede is the best chance I have outspeeding and killing this Charizard. And then Clefable has the ever so important screens and just can't be touched by a lot of his mons. So yeah. You know, I knew he wasn't going to leave this thing in again. You know, it was obviously his win condition now. Like, now that I know it has Flare Blitz, I know he needs to save that thing. So, you know, and I know I've got to start making some plays if I want to come back in this. So I predict him to switch out, go into my Gengar, go for the Sludge Bomb, kill the Granbull, but this actually puts me in a really bad position. Because look what happens. Brings in Venusaur. I'm paralyzed. I'm not at +2 anymore. He can outspeed me. I have to go straight into the Scolipede, try to take advantage of the synthesis that he's doing. I know he's going to go into Gligar here, so I go for the Baton Pass, go back into this, but then I realize he can just go straight into Venusaur. And if I predict that and go into Scolipede, he goes straight back into Gligar. He has no reason to not make these switches because there are no rocks. So no matter what I do here, I kind of lose in this situation. Because, like, anything I predict, he can just switch out and go to the other thing. It really doesn't matter what I predict here. You know, when I have Gengar out in the field, he just goes into Venusaur. When I have Scolipede out in the field, he goes into Gligar. No matter what, you know, no matter what predictions I make, that's what's going to happen, and I can do nothing about it. So basically, the idea here is I have to go for the Spadef drops to try to do anything here, to just break through this Venusaur. Luckily, I don't get parried, but unluckily, I do not get any Spadef drops. So you're gonna watch my Gengar fall here to this Venusaur. And then of course I have to go out into this. And of course he's going into Gligar, but you know, Clefable can't really do anything to Gligar either, so you know, could probably beat it 1v1, but you know, still. I go for the light screen, you know, maybe Reflect would have been better since Charizard, but yeah, whatever. You know, the game was over at that point. He goes into Gligar. I can't touch this thing, of course, so he's going to end up taking this game 4-0. You know, this was a really disheartening loss after waiting for so long to finally get Minor Season 2 rolling around. And you know, I thought I had a good chance of winning here. I really liked the team that I brought, but he just brought everything that countered it, and everything that I did not expect him to bring, like Gligar and Spadef, Venusaur, and Flare Blitz, Mega Charizard Y. You know, I didn't expect any of that, and you know, I don't think I played badly, except for maybe the one turn with the Hydreigon and the poison and stuff. But yeah, basically I got out prepped, which honestly hasn't really happened to me that much in my league experience. So very good game to Hunter. You know, maybe we'll play again in playoffs or something. I'd be really excited for that because I really like our matchup. I feel like we have a lot of things that we can bring against each other. Like, it was very hard for me to decide on a 6 to bring when I felt like everything could do something. And I felt like almost everything on his team could do something to my team as well. And it was a very interesting concept for a matchup, because normally you're thinking, oh, well, this thing is good against my team and this thing is not good against my team. And you kind of narrow it down through that. And this matchup didn't really have that, and I found that really interesting. But yeah, it was a good game. The poison on the Embor was unfortunate, but I don't think it mattered in the end. He was able to get off good damage either way, and at best it was still a 50-50, so even if I won that, I probably had like one more Flare Blitz left in me or something. And he probably would have predicted that and gone into Gligar or something. I don't think it mattered too much in the end. But yeah, on to news, I guess. So I am going to be taking over the New York Metangs for the majors for a couple of weeks, and I'll be uploading that as well, so that's very exciting. I'm also in the Token Minorities Summer Showdown, I think it's called, tournament, and the draft for that is happening now, and then the games, I believe, are happening next weekend, or like this weekend, I guess, since it's Monday. Yeah. So yeah, be on the lookout for all that. Lots of exciting stuff happening. I do intend to bounce back week 2. My opponent week 2 is the New Jersey Jump Luffs, I want to say, is their name. And they have a very scary team. Like, I look at their team and I really like it a lot. Like it in a sense that I would use it, not like it in a sense that I'd like to face it, because it's pretty scary, to be honest. I believe they lost, spoiler alert for the other battles in this league, I believe they lost 1-0 last week, so yeah, it'll be 2 defeated teams going against each other, and taking a second loss would really hurt, because there are only 7 weeks this time, and so trying to get into playoffs with 2 losses right off the bat is gonna be difficult. So I plan to try my best to not get that second loss, and yeah, hopefully I'll have that week uploaded on time. Maybe I'll actually have time for a team analysis. Yeah. But yeah, until then, or until whatever content I bring next, because there's a lot of potential. I have no idea what's going to be uploaded next, to be honest. But yeah, whatever that is, I will see you there. Goodbye.